Hi, it's Helen Tarrant. Hi, and welcome to another episode of Commercial Property Roadshow with Helen Tarrant. Now, today I'm going to actually talk about offer and acceptance and how to make that offer if you're a first time investor in the commercial property space. You see, a lot of people ask me about when I should make an offer, and they feel like they should line up all their ducks in a row and then make an offer. But that's actually exactly the wrong way of approaching it. You actually should make an offer as soon as you have the preliminary information. What do I mean by preliminary information? I mean something like the lease, information memorandum, a list of the outgoings if you can. Sometimes if the tenant's paying all the outgoings, I don't even ask for the outgoings until I get to the due diligence stage of the property. Now, whether you're in New South Wales, Queensland, Victoria, or any other state, pretty much for most agents in commercial property, they just want to know that you're actually serious. Because remember, they're going out there, they might have 100 inquiries on this property or 50 inquiries, and how they're going to differ that you are any different from anyone else. So the best way for them is to actually receive an offer from you. And it might be an offer that they're going to reject, it might be the offer that's totally out, away from what they are thinking. But at least it starts the ball rolling, because sometimes what I find is we get to a stage where we're doing a lot of works on a property. So we're doing a lot of due diligence, we're like talking to the tenant, we're actually researching the property, the area, and we're getting our finances ready, and we're going through all this process, but we don't even know if the vendor is actually going to accept our offer. And what happens is, by the time we actually go and make our offer, we're actually 2 weeks late and someone else has come in and nabbed the property. So what you want to do is receive your first thing when you receive the information memorandum, and then work out your yield. So you want to work out exactly what the return is, whether that works for you or not. And then you want to be able to look at the lease just to check that what they say in the IM matches into the lease, because there's often times where the IM does not match the lease, and then you want to make an offer. Now, the first offer may not be the offer they accept, and often it is not going to be the offer they accept, but it needs to be within a ballpark range. So I often have a conversation with the agent about what they are thinking. So what are they looking for? What are they looking to do? And if they are looking to, what is the most important thing to the vendor? So sometimes the vendor is not fussed on price, sometimes they're motivated by something else. So if it's a deceased estate, they're motivated that they just want to get it off their hands. So the cleaner, the easiest, the fastest contract wins. The price is irrelevant. Now, sometimes they have to get a certain price because they bought in too high, so the price is more important than the rest of the terms. Sometimes it's, if a developer's selling, for him, the cash contract is more important. So if you know you're going to get your finance because you've already previously had a preliminary chat with your broker, then you might want to give a contract that's not conditional to finance, but maybe to 14 days or 21 days due diligence, which allows you to do a pest and building report or a strata report and check that the tenant's paying the rent on time and all the outgoings. And then you can go unconditional, and that also gives you time to do a valuation on the property as well. So it's really about sort of working out what the key things that are important to the actual seller. So once you work that out, you can move ahead and put in an offer. Now, once we see a property, for us, what we do is we get our clients to put in an offer as soon as possible, because we just want to test before we go in and do a whole lot of work. We want to test the market, we want to test the vendor to see if they're a true seller, if they're going to be amenable to our terms, and whether they will be selling at our price range. If we can only afford $500,000 for a property, and the property's marked between $520 to $550, and we offered $500 or $520, and they only want to sell at $550, we want to know earlier on before we go and do more due diligence, because what happens is we can just then say, well, no, the vendor's not going to budge, so let's move on to the next property. That makes sure that we eliminate the property as fast as possible. What we find with our clients is those people who are not going through that buyer's agency service and not going through the mentorship, is that they often take too long to make a decision before they make an offer. They want to line up all their ducks in a row, and what that results in is that they're actually losing out on a deal to someone else. My analogy is a deal that is worth doing is always a deal worth fighting for. So you want to get in there quick, you want to be one of the first bidders, and you want to start negotiating the terms as well as soon as possible. Now, once you put the offer in, do expect that it might take anywhere as close as 2 or 3 hours the afternoon, or as close as the next day, 24 hours, for them to come back to you. So it's all about making a making sure that you follow the process through. So they might come back to you and you might find you're actually miles apart. So for example, one of the property deals we did recently, we put in an offer. They wanted $535 for the property and we put in a $480 offer. We knew was too low, and ideally I would have liked to put in a $500,000 offer, but we have to act in the best interest of the client. If they want to put in a $480 offer, we have to put in the $480 offer. So we put that in. The vendor was really upset by it and he said, look, I'm not going to negotiate. I'm not even going to give you a counter offer. So, but what we did was we insisted that they give us a counter offer. So we went back and insisted that he give us a counter offer, and they came back at $530, so which was a ridiculous counter offer. So what I've actually then talked to the agent is what's important to the vendor, and they talked about, they go, look, he doesn't want to do diligence, so we can give you a lot of the due diligence material, but he doesn't want to do diligence, but he will allow for a finance. So what we did was we then changed our contract to take out the due diligence section and put in the finance section, and then upped our offer to $500,000, so that we're actually within the ballpark range. So and then we got proper feedback. We came back at $525. The owner came back to $520. We negotiated. We tried to split the difference in the middle, and we finally ended up at $515, which is what we under contract with. So you can see how that process went, and that process took about 3 days to do. And I've had that process as fast as one afternoon, as fast as 24 hours, but 3 days to a week can sometimes be the norm right now. But as my biggest encouragement to you is, if there's a property that you like, go to offer as soon as possible, because the sooner you go to offer, the sooner you know that whether that property is going to be right for you. If you got an owner that said, no, I'm only going to sell on an unconditional cash contract and you've got to settle in 30 days, you know that if you have to be subject to finance, you can't make that. So you might as well not bother to spend your energy and time and emotion on it. Might as well move on to the next property deal. So I know there's lots of tips and tricks about, negotiating the right way, but the one thing you need to do is take your first step and make that offer. If you don't make that offer, you'll never know if that property is affordable for you or not. So don't be scared to make that offer. Step up, and if you want to find out more, you want us to help you through that process, you want to just reach out and say hi, give us some suggestions or what else you want to hear on the next video, then find out more from me. Email me at helen@commercialpropertycashflow.com.au. Go to helentarrant.com. We've got an upcoming free event. It's a live boot camp, so there's also under the free event tab on the helentarrant.com website, and I look forward to seeing you at the next video or at my upcoming free boot camp. So until next time, bye for now.